So you built your puzzle, your color book. The next thing we're going to do now is we're going to actually put the book together. This is where we're going to talk about scenes. We want to talk about the color book. We want to talk about this project in scenes now, because that's going to be one of the things that we work with to be able, and we're going to move from scene to scene to scene, and each scene is going to be a new think of it as a new interactive activity for the user. Your main page is going to have links to all your scenes, and so I want you to think about that. We're going to insert a scene here, and what that does is it gives us a blank timeline, a blank scene, blank everything. You'll see that we're on scene 2 right here, so if I were to click here, scene 1 is the puzzle, and scene 2 is blank. We can rename this later. That's not a problem, but we want to be working with scene 2. And you'll notice that the name is color book, but we're going to change that to final project, your last name _ final project. Okay. The other thing that we're going to do is we are going to modify the document, because remember when I said way back when we needed to remember what our file sizes were for this project. Well, we're gonna set that all up now. So the title is, let's say, Svensson Final Project, or you could say the forest, the rainforest, or whatever your book is, and then you could put a description here: interactive project for kindergartners. Okay. We're going to change this though, and we're going to put it into, let's change our ruler to our scene here, and let's talk about it in terms of let's see, 11.6 by 6.8. That was the size we were at before, 6.8. That's what our book scanned at. Okay, we can go back and then change that to pixels, and it'll change. It'll still leave us. If I go back to inches, it'll still give us inches. We're going to change it to pixels, and I'm going to say OK. Now notice when I go to here's scene 2, here's scene 1. You're going to go in and want to rearrange all this. So you're going to want to select all this and be able to move it, because now we're off to the side. But you're going to want to go back in and center all that. I'm going to go back to scene 2, and I'm going to use the timeline and move it out. Let's say we know we have 17 pages, and I'm just going to come here and I'm going to insert this right now. I'm just going to insert the frame, and I'm going to put in, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go ahead and put in, I have 17 layers. I want to put more layers than that in here. Okay. Because one of the things that I'm going to do is, for each layer, and I could do this in a couple of different ways, but for right now I'll walk you through it. So right here I'm going to bring this in, and I'm going to bring in, and I'm going to say import to library, and I'm going to go back to my little rainforest folder, and I'm going to grab page 1. And if I look over here, I'll see page 1 inserted. And I'm just going to go through. If I had this all in a folder, I could just import the whole folder, and I wouldn't have to worry about it. But I'm going to just kind of come in here and import each one, so that you'll see as we go through when I go to place all of this. Okay, and I'm just going to, what I'm going to do right now is just pull in 3 right now. So I'm going to bring in page 1, and I'm going to drop it right there. Wow, it's really large. So let's go fit in window. Okay, here's show all. And if I move this, you'll notice that here's our window, and obviously our image is much, much bigger than what we really need it to be, because remember, this is from Photoshop. So we're going to bring it in. I'm going to drop it over in that corner there, and then I'm going to pull it actually, oops, I want to keep it concentric. So what I'm going to do is just kind of come in here and pull. Oops. Because I want this. And if I have some hanging out, that's okay. Okay, that's okay. So there it is. Needs to be a little bigger or a little smaller. Whatever is not on the stage is just going to be outside the stage and we won't have to worry about it. So the next thing I'm going to do is right here, I'm going to put in insert keyframe. And then right here, I'm going to insert a blank keyframe. So that what happens now is it's right here. And I could put just one if I want to. In fact, why don't we do that? I'll just go in here and I'll say remove frame. Oops. Let's go here and just insert a frame. And then my next timeline, I'm going to go insert blank keyframe. I'm going to grab page 2. And I'm going to drop it in, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make it smaller. And you'll notice I didn't go in and change anything on this. I didn't mess around with this. I just kept it. I haven't gone in Photoshop and rearranged it or anything. So we'll make this just a smidge larger. So now what we have is, as we scrub the timeline, you'll see here's the first page of your book. Here's the second page of your book. And all we're going to do is, with each one, we're going to go ahead and move it up. We're going to insert, I'm going to insert a blank keyframe right there. And I'm going to come here, insert keyframe. And I'm going to do the same thing right here. I'm going to go ahead and drop in page 3 right there. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to go ahead and make this smaller so that you can see what's going on. So what we're doing is, you can see now we're starting to set up the book. So when you have all of this set up, what you have now is your book. And as we start to scrub the timeline, you'll notice that we go move from page to page to page. So now we're starting to set up the book.